Tim, handicap this game for me, will you?
Yeah, let's break down the X's and O's. just what the people want.
I don't even know how to look at this game. I guess, like a preseason game, you look at some guys and say, let's see if they can play. Will Shipley is going to be a big player in this game. Tanner McKee, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., guys like that. I guess that's the interesting part of the game, right? What else could be interesting?
I mean, let's be honest about it. It's the interlude before the playoffs. I mean, this is just a game that people are going to be watching with, their feet up on the couch, and the results don't really matter, and the key players aren't going to be playing, so you're not going to be sweating too much about injuries. And if there's guys that you want to sort of focus in on, I think Tanner McKee is probably the number one. It's somebody that during the course of his couple training camps here has looked really good, and I thought outperformed Kenny Pickett. And then you see him go into the game in that spot duty last week, and he throws, 4 pass attempts over touchdowns. And, so that I think whets the appetite a little bit. And that's not only good for Eagles fans who think about what that could mean later down the road, but also if, the Eagles end up getting some trade inquiries for either of those backup quarterbacks. And so that's definitely number one. And number two for me, I guess, would be a guy like Keely Ringo, Mike, who was thought of as a potential starter, hasn't really had much playing time. So you get to see a few of these guys who have otherwise been buried on the depth chart, but not a whole lot to see.
All right. So Sirianni was kind of tight-lipped on the concussion protocol with his starting quarterback. Do you have any information on that? I'm assuming he's fine to play in the playoffs, and he would have been one of the guys that wouldn't have played in this game. So what's the story with Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, so this was, Sirianni got asked 3 straight questions about it to start his press conference today, and on the third one, he snapped a little bit. And he's like, guys, come on.
Yeah.
I can't answer anything. Obviously, it's a tough situation to be in. You can't say a whole lot about a guy who is dealing with a concussion, but he did say that Hurts is progressing through the concussion protocol. Mike, I can't tell you that I'm picking up on any, alarm bells right now. I mean, obviously, when you're dealing with a concussion, everyone is unique, and it's not easy to forecast. But, the sense that I get from sort of poking around, people who know him are not concerned and say, he'll be ready for the postseason. But that's not a doctor, and that's not the team, and that's, that's nothing official. But I haven't picked up on, this is something to worry about, where he's not going to be available to them towards the playoffs. Obviously, as we get closer, now we're 8-9 days away. The focus will increasingly be on the quarterback. But as of right now, he's in that protocol, and at least my anticipation is he'll continue to progress through that as we get closer to the Packers game or the Commanders game.
Well, this week the focus was on the running back, and of course this is the $1 million issue. So I've got to ask you. I know it's over, but I've got to ask you about it because there are people still on both sides of this argument. With the Saquon Barkley not playing in this game to get the record. It appeared to me that he kind of wanted to play and reluctantly kind of gave it up to a coach's decision. But I was more interested in how the teammates felt about this, because it also seemed like the offensive line was gacked up to try to get this record. How did you see this week?
Yeah, so it was a difficult spot, I think, because you don't want to deny one of your key players a chance at history. And when Barkley was talking with us, he said that his dad took it the hardest, and just put it from the perspective of, if that record lasts, who knows if it'll be a year or if it ends up being another 40 years like Dickerson is going on, that the family name gets to be a part of that. Barkley is a big historian when it comes to football and when it comes to running back history in particular. And so he knows what the significance of that record is. He knows what that would mean for his legacy. And I don't think there's any question that he wanted to go for it. I mean, he's outwardly stated, this was back in August, his goal is to be the best player, running back of all time. And that would be a major step towards that end, whether he ends up accomplishing that over the course of his career or not. And there were offensive linemen like Jordan Mailata that was I'm going to push for this. And that really speaks to me, not only the fact of that's a point of pride for the offensive line, but it's also a respect thing for Barkley, who has come in and endeared himself to this entire team in no time flat. He comes from a rival team, and he has really found a way to be embraced here. So some of those guys wanted that, but I think everybody kind of recognized the big picture here, Mike. And that's that it's not just him going out there, but it would be the lineman going out there, and then maybe you got to get the wide receivers to go out there and block for him. And if somebody gets hurt, you end up losing early in the playoffs. Like, that's just devastating. So I think even Barkley, though he wanted it, sort of understood that at the end.
I guess. I don't know. Listen, objectively speaking, it's a prudent decision unless there's an all-time record at stake. And that's been my spin on this the whole week. We had Brian Westbrook on who said kind of the same thing, but my partner here, Bill, went the prudent way. Right, Bill?
Yeah, I think it was prudent, man. I do. I think you got to give yourself the best chance. I mean, Tim, they haven't had a bye week since week 5. You'd be asking these guys to play like 17 straight games if you want them to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and for every Mailata, there was a Lane Johnson who's like, dude, I'm 34. Like, I need some rest. And so let's not do anything, like let's get out while we can type of deal. And so I certainly understand that point. And so there's been, I would say, like minimal backlash to the decision where, there's obviously fans who wanted to see it, players who wanted to see it, and the whole thing. But if you reverse the script and they were to go for it and something happened in very recent history, which was the regular season finale last year against the Giants where A.J. Brown got hurt and Jalen Hurts got injured, Devontae Smith got banged up, you go into your opening game against Tampa and you get smoked. Like, if that were to happen again, the foundation of the organization would start rattling again. And, Sirianni's job would come in under fire. And, so ultimately it just wasn't worth it for them.
How are you feeling about my other brilliant idea today, which was since they were going to be prudent and rest their starters, and that's the greater good, how about if you give the ticket holders who paid for the price of this ticket 20% off that ticket, put it in their account? How you feel about that?
I love that. I mean, I love that idea personally. I'm definitely for the fans, and they get stuck. The season ticket holders, they got to pay for these preseason games, and nobody plays in them. And then you get the week 18, and you might not get anything of a product in that game either. So that can be a little bit tough. But we all know the NFL, Mike. Like, no shot.
Well, I'm talking about the generous heart of one Jeffrey Lurie. They instruct his employees to push a couple computer keys and get it done.
But it's not practical, right, Tim? It's not practical.
No chance.
No chance. All right, so Bill, here's the other Bill worry, Tim. Bill's worried that this is the Eagles should really need to win this game because the Giants. Oh no, I'm sorry. The Giants need to win.
I
want to
see the Giants win.
The Giants win the game because that would then push them further down the ranks of taking a quarterback that could really hurt the Eagles in subsequent years. How you feel about that?
How about the fact that are the Eagles still favored? Last I checked, they were favored by 3.
Yeah,
correct.
Is that still there?
That's still right.
Unbelievable. I mean, just think about the state of the franchise in New York, where it's already out there that none of the significant contributors on the Eagles are going to be playing, and you're still a 3-point dog coming in. Like, wow. So
I just saw it drop to 2.5. It's down to 2.5.
Oh, giant money coming in.
Yeah, as we speak, we're affecting the line. But yeah, I mean, it would obviously that would be probably the best outcome. But I do think that the Eagles internally still would like to get this win. Even though if you can play the game of chess and how that would negatively affect the Giants if they were to win. But, getting 14 wins in a regular season, I think, does hold some significance to this organization.
All right, so do they pull this one off? Now you see what they're up against in this game, and you see the backups they're playing. Are they good enough to win this game?
Yeah, I think they are, actually. I think they are. I mean, I think if you're betting on this one, it's just about as risky as betting on the preseason. But yeah, I could see it. I mean, if you go, looking at the two quarterbacks, like I could put McKee right up there. So yeah, I think they are good enough to win it.
All right, there you go. McManus picking. Is it a cover? Is this a cover?
Yeah, we'll go Eagles with the cover. Why not?
All right. Tim, have a lot of fun covering this game. I know, I don't know. Give me like you're going through your head because you always predict an angle that you would write about for this game. What's your angle? What would the angle be? Yeah. I
mean, the angle is there is no angle, honestly. Like you're looking at, like I'm already doing. This is the one blessing, honestly. Now that we're sort of moving past the Saquon stuff, it's like, all right, I get to do some advanced like playoff prep here.
Yeah.
That's what the time in the locker room spent on That'll probably be part of what my Sunday is spent on, even as the game's going on. It's like all sites go to the quarterback, his health, and then who they're playing in the playoffs, which will be dropped probably on Sunday night.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah, outside of the angle you're going to drop on us at 12 o'clock during our pregame show, though, you mean? There's going to be a lot of riveting conversation for that show on Sunday morning.
We're talking backup offensive lineman, the whole deal, Bill.
Bill is on record saying Will Shipley gets 101 yards. I took the under.
Yeah, I'm going to probably knock the under on that one too, Mike.
I switched it to 100 scrimmage yards.
Tim, thank you, man. We'll talk to you.
All right, boys.
Tim McManus on the Comcast Business Hotline.
Hey, everybody, it's Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can engage during the show, and you're not going to want to miss all the content that we post. It's not only the live videos. It's videos after the fact. It's our shorts. It's all the content you want as a Philadelphia sports fan. Looking forward to connecting.